Hello and welcome to or back to my channel. If you are new here, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you know every single time I upload a new video. I'm Ray and today I'm just doing a little CAS video while we go over a Q&A that I did like 2 days ago, and basically I'll just be answering some of your questions. As for this sim, I will have this sim available for download on my Patreon for free. Make sure to check her out. I don't have much on her. I was actually thinking of using her in a playthrough on my TikTok. I'm not sure yet if I'm gonna even do anything with her. I just wanted to make an alien. So today's first question comes from Tiffany. How long do you see yourself doing YouTube? And that's a good question because really I don't know. It kind of just depends on me and how I'm feeling. I definitely intend to be doing this for years to come, so I wouldn't worry about me dropping out anytime soon. But there are other things that I would like to pursue in terms of my career. And then the next question is from Merple the Merlot. What is the plot of your book? I can't really divulge just yet the entire plot of my book. What I can say is that the plot revolves around demons and Christian mythology, as well as Greek and Norse mythology. So it's kind of a mashup. It is a fantasy world, so it's not actual Christianity. Because it's a fantasy world, I have kind of created my own social constructs and everything like that, but more will be revealed on it as time goes on. And then the next question is from KatieBugXO. Hey Katie, and congratulations on your graduation. Super proud of you. What would you say is one of the best things to come from starting your YouTube channel? Definitely my audience. Hands down, nothing else competes with that. And then Tegan asks, do you have any current pets? I do, and I'm excited to say that I will be adding a husky to my family come August or September, maybe. It kind of just depends. Maya Agreste, I'm sorry if I said that wrong, asks, who are your favorite musicians and do you know your sun, moon, and rising signs? So my favorite musicians would definitely have to be along the lines of Youngblood. I also really enjoy Taylor Swift. And then my sun, moon, and rising signs. So my sun sign is I'm a Virgo, and then for my rising sign I am an Aquarius rising, and I'm also an Aquarius moon. So I know that's scary. I'm sorry if that's a huge red flag. I understand. That's all I can say about that. Taryn Kennedy asked, are you still using the Fleuralia save file? Do you have any other favorites? I am still using the Fleuralia save file, although I am looking for other save files to use. So if anyone has any suggestions, I'm open to them. I'm getting kind of tired of using it just because I know all the townies at this point. And I do sometimes use the Dizzy Izzy save file, but sometimes it makes my computer run slow. So I don't know. I'm currently still looking for one. Caitlin Bodden asked, what is your favorite Sims pack? Really, I don't have one, but if I could suggest one that I think everyone should have just for gameplay purposes, it would probably be Seasons. Colleen Lau asked, who is your favorite Sims YouTuber other than yourself? Okay, pause, hold on. I don't like my YouTube content, but thank you. And then, do you have any other small YouTubers you love and would like to promote? So my favorite Sims YouTuber would have to be a toss-up between Neexel and Plumbella. Neexel for gameplay and Plumbella for commentary on things that revolve around The Sims. And then for small YouTubers I would like to promote, what I'm gonna do is go through my subscription list of small YouTubers that I am subscribed to. So the first one on my list is Jayaka. Jayaka makes Sims 4 content, so be sure to check them out. And then after that we have Frolicking Gnomes. Frolicking Gnomes also makes Sims 4 content with Berry Sims, and I think their Sims are so freaking cute. And after that I am also subscribed to Simfora, who makes Sims 3 content because I like my daily dose of Sims 3 content. And then I am also subscribed to I'm Keegs. I'm Keegs makes Sims 4 content. I'm subscribed to Simful Panda. Simful Panda makes Sims 4 content. I'm subscribed to Wisteria, who makes Sims 3 content. I am subscribed to A Cotton Sock, who makes Sims 3 content. And lastly, but certainly not least, I am also subscribed to Aaron, who makes Sims 4 content. So be sure to check out those channels because they're all like under 10k. Okay, and then JM asked, how did you start getting into playing The Sims? So originally I got into playing The Sims during the Sims 2 era, when The Sims 2 came out, mostly from watching Sims 2 machinimas. I freaking loved the Helena My Chemical Romance Sims 2 machinima. I was obsessed with it. I acted like that was my religion, basically. I bothered my mom for such a long time that I needed to have that game, and my mom was like, well, you can't download games on the computer, but I guess what we can do is get The Sims busting out for you. So I got The Sims busting out. Brina asked, if you could give only one piece of advice to you from the 10 years ago, what would it be and why? Please don't date that guy that you meet at 17. For the love of God, don't do it. Don't even go out with him, please. Just don't do it. Don't give him one date, nothing. I strongly believe that some events in our lives can completely change what happens in our life path, and I think things could have gone much differently had a certain person not been a part of my life. And I know that's very personal, but that is the honest to God truth of what I would tell myself if I could, from me 10 years ago, which I would have been about 16. Aisla, I hope I said that right, asked, hey, so I finally got my ish together with my channel and started creating Sims 4 content videos, but I noticed something about the timing when it comes to posting. I posted a vid around evening time and algorithm senpai noticed me, so I was getting views right away, but when I posted in the afternoon, it wasn't the same. The views were super slow. It was just that. So I need to know, what do you think is the best time to post? Okay, so here's the dealio. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at your channel real quick. Right off the bat, you have 4 videos posted. So to be honest, with 4 videos posted, I think you're doing well enough. I wouldn't really worry about the views at this point. You're gonna have to post a lot of videos before you get noticed, for lack of better words. It's not an easy process. It's not something that happens overnight. It's just like you kind of have to prove loyalty to YouTube, if that makes sense. I would say post 50 videos first, and then you look up your YouTube analytics in your YouTube studio after you post 50 videos, and then see what times your followers are, or the people that view your videos, what times they are most active on YouTube. And whatever time they start being active on YouTube, post an hour before that. That's my best advice. Inifu asked, what's a pet you've always wanted but were never able to have? I don't think that's ever been a thing for me. I think I'm a dog person, and I've always had dogs, and I think I've really only ever wanted dogs. There's not really another pet that I ever wanted that I couldn't have. Maybe a guinea pig. I really wanted a guinea pig at one point, but that was like totally a phase. Maddie asked, who is your favorite sim you've ever made? Honestly, I love all my sims. They're like my children. I know that's so weird, but hear me out. I'm one of those people that gets really attached to like stuffed animals. I used to get really attached to my dolls. I get attached to anything. So when it comes to my sims, I feel kind of the same way, and if I lost any of them, I think I would be pretty freaking devastated. And then Cho, I don't know if I'm saying this right, I'm sorry. Cho asked, who is your inspiration to start YouTube? Nixel was my inspiration to start YouTube, because in 2020 was when I started watching Nixel's channel, and I was having literally the worst year of my life. Just aside from the pandemic and everything, I was really sick that year, and I lost my grandfather that year, who was like my dad growing up. So it was absolutely the hardest year of my life, and I passed a lot of my time watching Nixel's content, and I think it helped me so much that I just wanted to be able to do that as well for people. Like, that was the whole mentality that I had going into this. How big is your mods folder? My mods folder is currently 16.8 gigabytes, which I've seen worse. So, and then, do you like warm pastel or neutral colors, or neither? So when it comes to clothing, I like neutral colors on me because I think neutral colors look the best on me, but colors in general, I think I like pastels the best. Erica West asked, my question is, what is your advice for new Sims tubers? My best advice for new Sims tubers is that community matters. So if you want to gain a following, you're going to have to be active in the community. You're going to have to interact with people. You're going to have to make connections. You're going to have to comment. You're going to have to just be a part of the community. And I know that's hard for a lot of people. It was very hard for me at first because I'm very shy as well, but you'll get used to it eventually. And just as well, interacting with your audience and your comments, because those are the most important people and they matter the most. Asabi asked, where do you see yourself with this channel in the next year or the next few years? I'm not quite sure. I did want to make a second YouTube channel kind of around my book content, so I might be prioritizing more of that content in the future, but I also want to keep with my Sims YouTube channel. And they also asked, have you ever had no motivation not to post? If so, how did you deal with that? I have had moments where I absolutely do not want to post a video. And how do I deal with it? I don't, to be quite honest with you. I kind of force myself to do it. Sometimes I know this is probably such an unhealthy mindset to have, but sometimes I try to view it as this is my job, because essentially it is my job at this point. This is something that I have to do. It's not like, oh, I can just post whenever. Like, this has become something that is my job. I tell myself, there are people that work 8 hours a day at a desk job, and I don't typically work that long at the desk. Sometimes I will have days where I'm working for like 6 hours at the desk and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so done. And then there's times where I don't even want to open my game. I always like to remind myself that I am very blessed to have this job that I have, because it's still better than a lot of what's out there, and it fits me. You know, it fits my personality, and I feel so grateful that I am able to call this my job. But just like how people have to wake up and go to their job every day, I also have to wake up and come to mine. I do take mental health breaks, and I'm very privileged to be able to do something like that. I'm very grateful that I'm able to do something like that. Otherwise, it's kind of just a situation where I force myself, and I don't really recommend that. So I don't have like any good advice for finding motivation to post, because my methods are not healthy in my opinion. Ponyo Cries asks, will you be doing another Discord Makes My Sim? Yes, I absolutely will. Grace Nev asks, what is the book's genre? So the book that I'm writing, the genre is going to be dark romance fantasy. It is going to have a lot of mature content. I also intend on publishing this book with trigger warnings literally right on the front page. That's super important to me, and I feel like more authors should be doing that now, just given the current state of things. And then, who is your favorite sim you have ever created, and who is your least favorite? I can't really pick. I really don't have a least favorite sim that I've ever created. I love all of my sims. I even love Shahid, so. Chiaki asks, what's your favorite sim family or favorite sim challenge you did or are doing? I don't really have a favorite sim family. I kind of tend to get bored with all of them, to be honest. And then favorite sim challenge, I really do like the Not So Berry series. I think it's super fun, and I kind of like my challenge. T asked, if you could create any game pack or expansion pack for The Sims 4, what would it be about? So if I could create anything, I think I would want to do something that's more, I think a cyberpunk world would be so cool. I know that's so weird, but I would love like just a cyber world basically. I think that would be so neat, but not like into the future or anything like that. And in that expansion pack, I would probably also add the ability to have bands, because I really want bands in The Sims 4. I know that's so random, but I would love to be able to have like a band of really hot emo guys or something. You know what I'm saying? Moss Staker asked, what is the first sim you remember playing with, and what was their story? The first sim that I remember playing with was, guys, it's not interesting. I was literally just playing The Sims normally, to be honest. I was playing with a girl, she was in the tech career, and she met a guy at the library who was a randomly generated townie, and he was actually really handsome, and I was really shocked by it. So I was like, oh my god, I have to get in on that. They had a dog together. They ended up having twins, and then after the twins were born, I was like, I hate this, because I hired a nanny, and the nanny didn't really work that well. So I was like, I don't want to do this, and I ended up deleting them. Smiley asked, what is your best advice for upcoming content creators? So my best advice for upcoming content creators is always value your community. That is like the #1 priority I always have, and I think it's really paid off. And then genre of my book, like I said, the genre of my book is going to be dark romance fantasy. Most heartwarming YouTube experience is that anything to do with my audience, really. Just when people tell me things like I made their day better, or like how my videos have cheered them up because they've been in a really bad rut, or I help them be able to want to play The Sims 4 again. I don't know, that makes me feel so good inside. And sometimes I do cry reading comments, because sometimes I just feel like I don't really deserve it, and you guys really value me and I value you, and I can't imagine my life without you now. Lena asked, what's your favorite family that you've played with? I did already answer that. How long have you been playing The Sims 4? I've been playing The Sims 4 since it came out. I got it literally the day it came out. Have you ever played The Sims 1, 2, or 3? And if so, what was your experience like? I have played The Sims 2 and 3. My experience was good. I loved The Sims 2 and 3. I thought that they were fantastic games. So The Sims 4 was a bit of a letdown, to be honest. And what is the hardest Sims 4 challenge you've done? So I would say the hardest Sims 4 challenge I've done is the Human Enough challenge. It was very challenging. Dami Janadu asked, how did you get into writing? Writing is something that I wouldn't say I got into it. It was just always something that I innately knew that I enjoyed doing. I remember writing from a very young age, just like short stories and everything like that. I always enjoyed reading books, finding more inspiration from them. I'm not one of those people that reads books just to read books. To be honest, I read books more to like get ideas for like my writing, how I articulate myself and everything like that. So I do like pick up writing mannerisms and stuff like that a lot from other books that I read. And what is your favorite book? I would say my favorite all-time book, it's The Outsiders, and I don't know, it was just one of those books that brings back a lot of good memories for me, which is bizarre considering it's such a sad book, but it was such a good time in my life and I enjoyed the book so much. I enjoyed all the characters. It was just everything I loved, the genre, the characters, the meaning of it, everything about it. It was just perfect for me. Currently, my favorite book that I'm reading, or series that I've been reading at the moment, guys, please don't hate me, I really actually enjoy the Akatar series. Jade asked, so got a couple questions. When will you do this every month, or will you do this every month cast videos where you create sims with a type of genre? I was thinking of doing that, but not exactly like that. I'll elaborate more on that later when I have that idea more polished. For the Crybaby Whims challenge, do I have to finish the whole aspiration? Because to complete it, you'd have to have your child complete their career, mentor your child 3 times, and have a child finish their aspiration. Okay, so I did mean to address this. With having a child finish their aspiration, I would suggest picking, whatever aspiration, focusing on that one child and completing their aspiration in their childhood. And then mentoring your child is self-explanatory, but the last thing is what's the issue is you have to have your child complete their career. So it is okay to move on from Gen 1 to Gen 2 if that is the last thing you have to complete, as long as your child completes their career in Gen 2. It counts, it's fine, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Red Riot asked, have you ever played as a sim you created that you absolutely hated, and what's the story behind it? I can't say that there is a specific sim that I created that I hated, but there are stories I've played that played out in a way that I hated the story because it was just uncomfortable for me. And then Sinful Panda asked, how have you been feeling lately? I've just been feeling, I don't know, kind of like I'm not doing well enough in life, like I could be doing better. I always have times like that and it kind of slows me down, but I'm trying to work through it right now. And then, did sudden growth scare you a little? If so, how do you handle the anxiety of knowing so many people are watching and expecting something from you? Sudden growth was a little bit scary. It was just one of those things where like I've always been the kind of person to self-sabotage when things seem to be going well for me. And I know that's so bad. I don't usually admit that. It's kind of part of my mental health struggles, but I do tend to self-sabotage when things are going well for me because I don't think I deserve it. And it was kind of a struggle to not do that. When that started happening, it was a struggle to not be like, all right, peace, goodbye, I don't want to do this channel anymore. How do you handle the anxiety of knowing so many people are watching? I don't really think about it. But at the same time, the thing is, when you have these subscribers and all these people supporting you and everything, it gets to a point where you don't really mind anymore. People leave such nice comments and everything that you're like, it's more like you're posting it for all your friends, and it's like all your friends are watching, and you don't really mind at that point anymore because you're so used to all these people. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. However, knowing that I feel like people expect things from me is kind of a different struggle that I deal with. I do deal with feelings of, like I said, not feeling like I'm doing enough. And that does suck. Jaden asked, how long did it take to grow your channel? I would say that my channel grew at a faster rate than most channels. I would not take my channel growth as something to compare yourself to. If that is, something that you're looking at, please do not compare yourself to the growth of my channel, because truth be told, I have made at least 5 different YouTube channels. Are we going to talk about what those YouTube channels used to be? Absolutely not. What you guys didn't see is my struggle. What you guys didn't see is how many years I spent researching what I do in terms of social media marketing and stuff like that. I have notebooks with information and stuff like that, with new algorithms, and not just of YouTube, but literally every social media platform that there is besides Facebook. I poop on Facebook. I don't care about Facebook. But just know that my channel growth was not just because I got lucky. It was actually a very difficult process, and I put a lot of work into it. I'm talking, I am never off the clock. I am always working, and the reality of it is that you guys just don't see that. And like, I don't want anyone also to worry about me, worry that I work too much, because I don't really see it that way. I'm having fun. So but just know that my channel growth is not something that should be taken as like the industry standard. Most channels will take quite a few years to even hit the 1,000 subscriber mark. So just know that you're doing fine, okay? You know, as long as you're posting videos, you're doing all right. And what advice would you give a beginner Sims channel? Like I said before, community is the most important thing to look at when you are starting a YouTube channel. You are going to want to prioritize community over absolutely everything else. And then lastly, Living Dead Gal asked, I'd love to know what inspires you to come up with all the cool stories you do for your Sims, and even the stories you wrote for each generation of the Crybaby Whims challenge. I don't think that there was any specific inspiration that came from any of that. When it comes to stories, I am a maladaptive daydreamer, and here we go into my mental health again, but I have been a maladaptive daydreamer since my early childhood. I was an only child. I don't recall having many friends, and I did play by myself a lot. So I had a very, very active imagination that was overwhelming for me, and into my adulthood, it is an issue. I wouldn't like romanticize the whole maladaptive daydreaming thing. It makes things harder sometimes because I get so overwhelmed with how many ideas I have, and I start to zone out a lot while thinking about these ideas. And sometimes I like, you know, when it comes to maladaptive daydreaming, the difference between daydreaming and maladaptive daydreaming is that with maladaptive daydreaming, sometimes you act out the scenarios in your head. I know that sounds so bizarre, but that's what I do. So it can truly be kind of a curse in your day-to-day life. And when it comes to these stories with The Sims, it's why I appreciate The Sims so much. I am able to exercise some of those daydreams that I have, and I can kind of put them into something. So that way I can focus on something else, focus my energy into something else, and it feels good for me. When it came to the Crybaby Whims challenge that I made that challenge in a week, which is kind of fast in my opinion. And the whole reason I made it so fast was because these were ideas I already had. It wasn't something that I had to really think over too much. I've just always been such a storyteller, and I always have ideas to a point where it's overwhelming, and I wouldn't say it's the best thing. It's good if you're an author. But that is it for today's video. Those were all the questions that I received that I can see on my end. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video and you learned a little bit more about me, or about, you know, even starting a YouTube channel, about my book, whatever you guys wanted to know. I hope you learned it. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know every single time I upload a new video. As always, I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.